the most important sex organ in your life is your brain.
Is your brain.
And
that's right.
So true. And if our thinking is wrong about our sexuality as we begin to get older.
That's right.
And if we're thinking wrong about it, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he.
That's right.
So again, as we think that way.
If you're thinking it's going to go away, or you're thinking it's just not going to be exciting anymore, man, we just challenge your thoughts. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining the Home Matters Podcast with Eric and Gena Boggs, where they lead authentic, raw discussions about marriage, family life, kids, intimacy, and sex from a biblical perspective. Here's your host, Eric and Gena Boggs.
Hello, Eric Boggs.
Hello.
I'm liking this shirt. I was just sitting here thinking during the roll-in. Yeah.
I know.
Have you worn that before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gave it to me. You really did. Yeah.
Well, I did good. Looks good.
I got a lot of shirts. I know.
You told me. He told me recently, tell all my kids, everybody, I don't need any more shirts for anything. That's what you told me.
This is true.
You just need to clean out some of the ones you have.
They're good shirts.
Well, somebody could use them.
I guess, yeah.
You got too many. Well, we did not get you to tune in today to hear us talk about our wardrobes, but we are glad that you are here.
And you're talking about me looking good, so that leads right in. You're a little bit frisky there. We're talking about the sexual relationship today.
You changed the way you talk. I can't deal with you today. What in the world?
The thing is, we've committed to talk about the intimate sexual piece of the relationship of marriage.
That's
on
right.
a
I'm
regular
glad you
basis.
said the intimate, because it's not just sex, and intimacy is not.
I'm a mature husband.
Okay. All right.
So those younger guys that think intimacy, they spell intimacy S-E-X. I know better than that.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So, but here's what we're talking about: sex in the later years. In fact, I titled it like when you get our sex. What did I say? When you're older. No, I said when you're older, and you didn't want to use older.
I think you titled it older sex.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
I think you did.
The later
older
years.
Sex.
That's what
old sex.
Excuse me. He cannot even talk about the subject. Let me share something, Tim.
We shouldn't laugh so much because, again, people take us wrong.
That's right.
And again, we talk about sexuality in a way that I hope that we always keep it in the place. We realize it's a gift from God for marriage that He's placed a premium on.
Yeah.
He's cherished to that one person. He's valued it for you to have it with one person. Give your sexuality to one person.
That's right.
And that premium, we talk about that a lot.
Don't
just listen to this one deal. And
that's right. Don't just turn us off on this one deal.
Don't come at me. Don't judge me, man. But
we have not talked about this aspect. I don't know if ever.
Yeah, because, it's something that, again, people are kind of intimidated by.
Yeah. But I mean, just talking about it in the later years of your life. Okay, because isn't it supposed to be over?
Yeah, and if you're younger, you need to listen now because it's going to help you look forward to the days. But and we don't know what it's like. We don't know what sex in the later years is really like.
Because we're so young.
We're so young.
That's right. Yeah. Let me tell you what Tim and Beverly LaHaye said. They've written several books, but he says there are 3 age groups of a couple's love life. 3 age groups. Okay.
I read this.
The couples in their 20s. You didn't get it either.
Nope.
Couples in their 20s have sex tri-weekly.
So what's that mean?
At least 3 times a week.
Oh, yeah. 20s?
Tri-weekly. Okay. No, just hush. I know what you're thinking. Couples in their 30s and 40s try weekly to have sex.
Okay. W-E-E-K-L-Y.
Yeah, they try weekly
to have sex.
Mm-hmm. Couples in their 50s and 60s try weekly, W-E-A-K-L-Y, to have sex.
That stinks. I don't like that, Beverly. Or who said it, Tim?
Tim Lay. Yes.
So 40s and or 50s and 60s are.
Yeah, I mean, he'll have 70s and 80s out.
There's a weak effort at.
Yeah.
But anyway.
You know what? It's not just the older crowd. Sometimes there's a weak effort even in the younger years.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And that, what we're saying though, is that shouldn't be like our mode of operation, just to assume that the intimacy and the sex life is over, right?
Right.
Because I think that's an assumption sometimes. You get to the certain age and it's just all over, it's done with.
Yeah, well, but again, even around the people of faith, the church, I mean, it's kind of made light of, or it's treated like it's
that's true.
Taboo, and especially, you've heard the old joke, the guy asked about his younger life, or I don't even remember the joke, but you remember his favorite song was Precious Memories.
Oh.
How they linger, acting like,
he just had memories,
it's over. Yeah, he's old. But again, we make light of it that way. And again, I don't think we treat it as holy and valuable in the marriage relationship when we treat it that way.
That's
again,
true.
Anytime we degrade or diminish our sexual relationship or treat it like it's not important, I think that in many ways it is really taken away from what God created and what He purposed,
what He intended it to
be. That part of our life for. And so again, as you start to get older, again, things do change, and and the fact is it's good that as you live your early years, your younger years, there are times that that sex is there's maybe more of a drive that is there, but at the same time, as you mature and get older, your sexuality, your intimate life is not just based on the drive. It's based on the commitment and the love and the
oneness. I mean, that's created there. And you said it, just that intimate part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The desire, the passion, the attraction.
Yeah.
The more, we believe if you do it God's way, we believe that out of that there will be a desire that He places in your heart that for your spouse that is unlike what the culture around us kind of dictates or
that's so true
or sets out there as kind of the parameters or the mode that we live in.
Yeah, I just think that as couples coming along, that we should be able to look forward to our intimate sexual life, even as we grow older, not old, but older, together.
It's all right if they call me
after
old.
the kids. Here's what I've thought about it in, kind of looking at this and readying for this. As a couple, unless, something happens, but typically you have more years together after your children are gone than you had while you were, growing them up and supposedly in your prime years. As a younger couple. So there's still so much left in your life, time and years together for this part of our life. Man, I mean, you might just be getting started when you're 50.
Yeah.
What you think about that?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Let me say this too, because I think sex, I know for women starts in their mind and our thoughts, but I think for all of us, if it's something that we never think about, or if we think about it negatively, then we're setting ourselves up to not enjoy that part of our life.
Yeah, and I think it's not just women. I think men are especially, they're bad about getting their thoughts set on something that they are not, or set on something that they're not experiencing in the moment. And again, I think that the attraction toward the younger or that sensation that is created of everything being young. I don't think men give themselves a chance for their thought life to be formed and established toward their their wives, especially as they get older. But I've often referred to the book Every Man's Battle and the principles that are being taught there about bouncing your eyes and starving yourself from looking at anything and everything out there, and setting your eyes on your wife. And in that, there's a greater desire. I'm so big on that because I know that's true in my own life, is that I've tried to keep away, or I didn't feed my appetite.
That's good.
On everything else out there, but my appetite was fueled, and therefore my desire was greater for my wife. And that I saw her, I thought that way, try to keep my mind thinking that way. And in that, I think your thought life, you've heard it said, I mean, we've heard this, I don't know, but the most important sex organ in your life is your brain.
Is your brain.
And
that's right.
It's so true. And if our minds, if our thinking is wrong about our sexuality as we begin to get older.
That's right.
And if we're thinking wrong about it, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he.
That's right.
So again, as we
if
think
that
way.
If you're thinking it's going to go away, or you're thinking it's just not going to be exciting anymore, or so, man, we just challenge your thoughts. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Right? Don't fall into the, maybe what culture throws at us that, after your 20s and 30s, it's over.
Peak periods.
Forget it.
Man peaks out sexually, his sex drive peaks out late 20s, early 30s. Women usually mid-30s, early 30s, mid-30s. Am I right? Is that right? I've read that somewhere.
I've read, more recently that women, are later, but that with right thought and taking care of their body, that, their drive can go well through their 60s.
That's good. But the thing with women too is when they're younger, they're always afraid of getting pregnant.
Yeah, there's so much going on.
Or not always. They may be trying to get pregnant. But again, I'm just saying.
Trying, right. That's true.
With sex, that begins again. That's a thought. That's a thinker thing, right?
Yeah.
So with that, again, all we're saying is that, studies show that men and women in a monogamous relationship with husband and wife, where they actually, their sexuality and their intimate life actually continues to grow. And again, would say all you younger folks out there listening, if you think that things are good now,
that's right.
I can say this by
how to get better.
That it will. What is happening now? You may have a great sexual, intimate relationship now, but it's only starting.
That's right.
What you think is great.
Studies also show that there are many couples into their 70s, 80s, even some in their 90s, that still really enjoy the sexual relationship with their spouse.
Wow.
That's good news, right?
Yeah, I know that we've read that. I know that I've seen more on the intimate relationship being stronger and healthier after. And when we realize our intimate relationship is not just the sex act itself,
right? I
think that helps us to understand that a little better. But now,
that's true.
And again, I've seen some of the things that you read. I think that there are studies showing now that older couples are still, and again, I'm sure things are different, but again, that they're still.
Our body naturally, there are things that slow down. But our enjoyment of the sexual, intimate relationship does not have to slow down. Yeah. That doesn't have to wane. I mean, things will change, but and I've heard it said a lifetime of good sex is a lot our attitude.
Sure
anyway, goes back to our thinking again and how we think. Do I think, in a way that I'm not just always like, well, that part of our life is over. That I'm always looking for ways to renew and refresh.
Got a friend that is in the medical profession who works primarily with women, and he has, from his own experience, he said, older women, actually, it's obvious the older women that have actually nurtured or tried to stay healthy.
That's true.
Sexually, those are things that are obvious. You can see that in the patient. And again, everybody is subject to health issues, medical issues, those kinds of things. But all we're saying is don't just throw that out
Dismiss
and say there's
it.
no way that can happen in our life as we get older together.
That's true.
You know, there's no way. We're just saying that maybe you need to just kind of change your thinking and get your mindset, your attitude right about the possibilities of what can happen.
That's good. Yeah. Let's throw out just a few things before we go today. Maybe 5 or 6 things.
To have better older sex.
Older?
Have old sex.
I mean, how do you say it?
Is that the title?
No.
Sex, the later years.
The later years.
That's
right. We're trying to leave the word old out.
We call it old sex, man.
Old is a mindset too, right? Isn't old a mindset? Okay, so look, this section here, let me move on because
no worries, just enjoy. Okay,
that's right. No worries, just enjoy. Okay, number 1, you can enjoy, and you kind of mentioned this earlier. Okay. You know, in your childbearing years, sometimes there's that tension there of trying, you mentioned it, to get pregnant, or
been afraid of getting pregnant,
scared that you might get pregnant.
Yep.
That's gone. You don't have to worry about that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Either way. I mean, just enjoy the act itself.
Okay.
Is that all right?
And you don't have to worry about kids running in the room.
True. There are fewer responsibilities.
Number
with kids.
2, we're running out of time.
They're not walking on you, right? Nobody else is in the house. Hopefully it's quiet. You can not have to hide.
Empty nest.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. So what about this? You can just make love for pleasure, for intimacy, for connection.
Yeah.
Okay. One writer said this. I love it. I may have lost a step, but I make up for it in experience.
Wow.
Yeah. It's getting older, but, you know, your experience says a lot.
Oh, yeah. Right?
What about this one? It doesn't have to be
That's
routine.
True in life, period. But again, in your sexual, intimate relationship.
Yeah.
You know, that experience you've had is huge. As you grow together, I'll say that too. As you grow together, your knowledge, your intimate knowledge of each other.
Learn one another.
Yeah.
Right? Look at this one. It doesn't have to be routine just because you're older. Right?
Right.
I mean, it doesn't have to be the same old, same old. They're not kids in the house. You can be as creative as you want to. Right?
Yeah, I think you made me blush a little bit there, but
it's
just reality.
No.
Again, it is something that you know, if you don't put any energy or thought or you know any planning,
right, and that's true your entire married life. Okay, and we say that all the time. You have to be intentional. Okay, be creative, but man, in our later years, I mean, why does the creativity or the fun, so to speak, have to be gone?
Right.
Right?
Yeah, this quote by Moses.
Moses?
You know Moses?
Oh.
Charlton Heston.
He was
you know
Moses.
Moses is. Well,
he was Moses. I was like, Moses and the Bible do not say this.
Yeah, Charlton Heston, some of you younger kids or younger folks wouldn't remember, but there was the 10 Commandments maybe years ago, 70s, maybe before that, 60s.
I don't know when it was. You always talk about it. I barely remember.
Oh, yeah, I remember it. It was profound. It was amazing.
It was profound.
But Moses, Charlton Heston played the role of Moses. And here's what he said. He said this. Listen to this quote. He said, I lost my quote here. Where'd it go? It said doing it 3,000 times with the same woman has been wonderful.
He said that in an interview, actually. They were talking to him about his marriage.
Yeah, but again, that's that, and there's a lot of truth in that.
Well, it's easy for anything that you do that many times just to become routine and just no life in it. Okay, so a married couple that is in their later years, I mean, have probably done this thousands of times, right?
Possibly.
But the creativity and the excitement can still be there.
Yeah, and if it's bad or if it's boring, I always say it this way: if it's if you're down on your sexuality or you think it's not a big deal, that's on you. Again, it's not what God planned.
Right.
God made it a big deal by saying you can only share it with one person in your life.
That's right.
So again, and we got to finish.
Okay. What about the problems? Okay, we said it earlier. Desire.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that decreases.
Libido.
Hormone levels decrease. You know, there are changes, but that doesn't mean it has to be the end. I mean, there's a lot of help out there, right?
Yeah. A lot of medical.
And I would say don't be too prideful to ask for help, or, you know, don't be too irresponsible, because this is a part of our life and that God means for us to enjoy.
There's so much good counsel around. Be careful of the sources and the resources.
That's so true.
Be careful even the people you talk with about this part of your life. You don't expose something that's precious and cherished. You don't
just anybody.
Expose that thought or that part of your life to anybody.
That's
so even
true.
As a couple, work at that.
That's right.
And then finally, here's this last, you know, I think.
Sex is good for you. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
It keeps you healthy.
Sure does.
And I mean, I could go into a lot of detail right here that you kind of tried to hit on some of that earlier that we won't say online, but you study it out yourself. I mean, cardiovascular health, your immune system, the boost in your immune system, the reducing stress, even that you look younger. Wow.
It's amazing.
I mean, you cannot have surgery. You can just have more sex.
All right, we got to go.
Okay, we're out of
So,
here.
again, we're just encouraging, always encourage you, let your intimate sexual relationship, let it flourish.
God means for you to enjoy. I know we got to go, but you know, that one in Scripture, every time it's mentioned, it's not all about procreation.
Right.
There's sometimes God just says, enjoy that part of your life.
Yeah, and all of you listening, even if you're younger out there, or if you're older, we encourage you. If you're younger, we encourage you to say, hey, there's so much that God can do in your life, and encourage you to realize that, man, there's a lot in front of you still.
That's right.
God's
even
got a
in
great
the
plan, right?
latter years, older years.
The later years.
Later years. Sorry, I can't get that right.
Sex.
Your home matters.
The later years. Old sex. Your home matters. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.